Have you ever been into importation business? What challenges did you face in this business? Where do you think you failed? Or what do you think you did the best in this business? And now your business is booming. So hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Monica, and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, gosh, you're missing a lot. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you some of the steps that I do use in my importation business, and some of the areas that I think that so many importers, that is the many importers, some of the mistakes that they do make, and maybe you are going to learn something or two, or maybe you can also share with me, what you have learned through this journey. And when I talk about a mini importation business, I have been importing from China to Kenya, and so far so good, not bad. But all through being a beginner, I believe I've learned, from my mistakes, and I have learned a thing or two. So in this business, as I import my things, the very first thing that I do is deciding what product do I want to sell. And even for you, I think that is the very first thing or step that you want to do. What do you want to sell, and how do you know what do you want to sell? Of course, you have first to do a market research, identify what does the market need, what kind of product do they need, and those products are not locally available, because there's no need of you importing where you can get those goods here in Kenya at at probably an equivalent price, and at a very fast very fast, meaning that you don't have the waiting time. Then the next thing that I do after deciding what I want to buy is finding a supplier. This is very important. It's very important because the kind of supplier that you are going to get will determine the kind of product that you are going to get, or even avoiding situation of getting scammed. And I know, so a number of importers usually get their goods from Alibaba, AliExpress, and in this platform, of course, you have to do your own a kind of credibility research of a kind, because you're not going to get any supplier. You need to know what kind of a supplier am I getting. Let's say, for example, you want a supplier for for tiles, and you're not going to get any supplier. Of course, all those suppliers listed there that you can find, they have tiles, but you are not going to test, you're not going to take any supplier. You've got to check their credibility. How many years have they operated in this platform? What are their reviews? What people are they saying about them? What complaints are their customers saying about them? And with this, you're able to to identify, is this a kind of supplier that I want to work with? Then the next item after identifying your supplier, let me go back a little bit. Apart from Alibaba and AliExpress, this is something that I've seen. Of course, it has worked for me and some of my friends. If, let's say, for example, you can still, if you have a friend in China, you can maybe ask them to source for your product. But of course, it's not going to be free, but you can ask them to source for your product. So this is another method, because I know there are some people who work in this business. Their work is sourcing for their clients here in Kenya product from China. Then after identifying your supplier, you need to get a sample. You don't want to buy I've heard so many things in the online business, like people be saying the picture was a kind of exaggerating, but when the real product come, you are in a shock. So you don't want to experience this. So, and what do? You need a sample. Ask for a sample. Yeah. And I think a sample will cost you a few dollars, and once the sample gets to you, you should, make sure you test that product, have a look at it, look at it, check its quality, check the quoted price. Is it making sense depending on the kind of quality that the product is? Yeah. And again, if this is an option for you, that I think it works for me sometimes, because I think the importation business, and especially when you want to get your sample, it might take too much time before you get the final product to you. So what I usually do, if I have a friend in China, I'll always ask the company to send the product to a particular address, and this particular address is my friend's address. And once the product gets there, I'll ask my friend, please, can you check for me this product, how is it? And maybe they can send me a video of how it is. Like, if for example it's a shoe, I'll tell them, can you maybe bend it, is it bending, what do you call this? Yeah, can you fold it? Sorry, yeah, can you fold it? I want to see all those things. How are the shoe sizes and colors? How are they? Does it look like it's fading or something? And once my friend approves this, then I have the confidence, and I will not have to spend maybe weeks or a month waiting for the sample to arrive. So that is an option. If you have a friend, I think this one can work for you. So once you receive the sample and it's very okay, what is the next thing to do? The next thing for you to do, you need to identify your shipping company. You need to identify the shipping company, and you need to know, where is this shipping company located in China and also here in Kenya. Why do you need to know why is it located in China? Because you need to know how those goods are going to move from the supplier to the shipping company. I don't know if you understand this. Yes, from the supplier to the shipping company. You need to understand, because you need to give your supplier the correct address. Yeah. Then again, why do you need the address of the shipping company here in Kenya? You need to know where it's located, because you need to know where to collect your goods and where to go pay for the the transportation cost. Yeah, the transportation fee, whether it's by air or it's by sea. You need to know where you are going to collect your goods. For example, assuming you are located in Mombasa and the shipping company has its offices in Nairobi, you need to communicate with this shipping company in advance, because there's no need for your goods to go all the way to Nairobi and then again they need to go back to Mombasa. But once you communicate with them, they can organize with you, and then your goods can be you can pick your goods from Mombasa. So there's a very huge importance of you knowing the shipping company location. Again, when you are giving your supplier, of course you'll give your supplier the details, like the name, which country your goods going to, your phone number, and what have you. Make sure you, like, for example, you can say Nairobi or Mombasa, because for those in Mombasa, don't say Nairobi, because it will be too much. The goods go all the way to Nairobi, and now again they need to go back to Mombasa. So it's very wise, because especially if they are coming by sea, because the port is at Mombasa. But if they are coming by air, I don't know, I think it's still okay to indicate Mombasa, because so that once the goods arrive, the shipping company can organize with you on how you're gonna get your goods to Mombasa. So the other thing, once you identify your shipping company, you need to know how much does the shipping company charge. And I think this one you should know even before you decide to purchase your good, because the amount the shipping company charges, if it's by air, it charges per kg. If it's by sea, it charges per CBM. Why do you need to know this? Because you are going to do your calculations and determine, is it really worth to import this pen all the way from China to Kenya? You're gonna do your calculation and see, this is how much the supplier sells, and the importation cost is this, and then you can try to do an approximation and see, when I bring this product to Kenya, am I going to get any profit? Yes. Then the other thing you also need to know is you also need to decide something else that you need to know as an importer. You need to know, what price am I buying for this pen? At what price am I buying this pen? Because and what quality or grade is this pen? Because what you find in China, different products, let's say for example it's a shoe, there will be always different grades of this shoe, and it's different quality of course and different pricing. Think, depending on your target customers, do you think watafika bei? Yes, don't come buying something expensive and then you'll be frustrated if it doesn't sell. And I remember one day I decided to import some beautiful shoes that I saw somewhere, and they were so amazing. And after importing them, the quality was dope, yeah. And I was like, boom, this one is a good one because the quality is okay. And upon the shoe arriving, I just realized that, hey, what wafiki bei? The quality is great, but what wafiki bei? So you need to know, like in your area, like what wanafikanga bei gani, so that you don't bring something very expensive and then you end up having a dead stock. Again, don't bring the very, very cheap items, because these ones will frustrate you and you will fail your customers. For me, I always say that having a middle quality kind of a product is always great, because depending on how I have observed the Kenyan market, apart from few selected areas, like when you bring the very high quality products, they will not afford. Again, once you bring a poor product, your customers get lost. So at least a middle one, I think, will be great, because your customers can afford that, and at least it will serve them for quite some good time. Yeah. And so with me here, I have some things that I think, some of the mistakes that I think I did, and some of the lessons that I did, and I want to share with you so that you don't repeat those kind of mistakes. So the first thing that I think that importers that the importers may make, it's lack of research. You just see a good product on Alibaba, and what do? That one is awesome. You don't research the market. Can my clients buy this? Can they afford? Is it, will my clients embrace this product? We fail to do market research, and after importing, you failed miserably. So don't do this mistake, please don't. The other mistake is about quality and pricing. Like the one I've said, you buy a very expensive product and then coming to it here, plus the importation cost, you'll not get customers. We don't want you to have dead stocks. Mimi staki ukuwe na dead stock. It's not okay, and it's very frustrating in a business. We want you to bring products that kesho yake you still want to import more products. The other thing you have to consider is delivery time. For example, someone might be interested in importing a wedding gown, and probably their wedding is 2 months time. No, not actually 2. Let's say it's about in a month's time. Personally, I wouldn't advise such person to bring such a thing, because one, you have a very urgent event coming, and having this, the gown is very important. And importation will take much time because, of course, you want to check the quality of the product. You need, for this kind of a product, you need ample time. So depending on the urgency of your product, make a wise decision. Don't just go importing and you don't have enough time. Then again, something else, someone else might be interesting, like you can be, a certain product is trending and it's selling so well, and then you decide to import this product, and assuming you are going to import this product by sea, itachukua miezi ngapi? Let's assume you also need to get the sample all the way to Kenya. It will take too much time, and by the time this product gets Kenya, the product is already saturated in the market, and now you are competing. And sometimes you also get that it is during this period the fake product has also entered the market, and maybe you purchased a good quality product, and so now it will be, you will be competing with those products to manage to to bring those, let me not use the word fake, but let me say low quality products. So hey, tenda hasara itakuchoma. So think twice about this one. The other thing that I think worked for me is before even your goods arrive, start selling online. I remember there is a certain time that before my products arrived, I started marketing my products online, and by the time they were arriving, I think almost a half of the product, they were fully booked. So this one works, and this one will help you immediately after your products arrive, you are able to make another order. Yeah, and this one is specifically for the mini importers, because we are not able to purchase those. We are not able to purchase a container, what nanunua kidogo. Yeah. Then the other thing, do the maths. I said this before. Don't import something you have not done your calculations, and then you end up getting frustrated because it cannot sell, because the customers will be like, gosh, it's super expensive. Do the maths. How much is the supplier selling you, and how much do you need for the what do you call this, for the shipping costs. You also need to include that. Then the final thing I would say, don't import a product and it's already available here. So this also entails doing your research. Know if the product is locally available. I remember some time ago, after COVID came, people were like into importing the masks, and then all of a sudden there were some local companies making the same mask, and there were already some local company making the mask, manufacturing the masks, and they didn't know. And by them buying the masks from China, they bought high quality masks and expensive. So bearing in mind, so many Kenyans will not afford to buy that mask when it was costing 100. They will want to go for that cheap mask. What you do if you have already ordered maybe almost a container of masks and you bought it very expensive? What will you do? It will eventually lead to the falling of the business, and your money will be rot somewhere, sleeping somewhere, and we don't want that. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and as I always say, whatever tips that I give you, whatever ideas that I deliver here, they are based on my own experience, all my friends' experience, and you have a huge responsibility of going further, and doing further research. This is just an eye-opener and showing you that there are some things that you can do. There are some things that you can do even with small capital, and even sometimes with no capital. So make sure you do your research. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing to my channel. See you next time. Thank you.